This is a brief workout for days when you need to do the bare minimum. It is an assortment of some of the, sometimes they're called fundamentals, sometimes they're called the pre-Pilates exercises, and these were given originally either as homework, something people could easily practice on their own at home, or they were given to teach movements and alignments and patterns to help students prepare for more advanced standardized Pilates exercises. And they are great for anytime you really want to move but also don't have a lot of energy and don't really want to think too hard. There are many fundamentals and pre-Pilates exercises out there. There's even a whole book on them. These are just the ones that I really like the most, and I hope you like them too. Start lying down and inhale, big inhale naturally. Exhale, imagine one vertebra at a time melting into the mat. Repeat that inhale. Imagine one vertebra at a time sinking into the floor. Keep going with that pattern. Inhale and exhale slowly, envisioning that melting. You may not be able to envision it easily. That's okay. Do your best. 2 more of these. Inhale and exhale. Just check in. Let yourself start to relax. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to your ribs. Inhale, feel the sides of your rib cage expand. Exhale, feel them knit together. Inhale, feel your side ribs expand. Exhale, feel them knit together. You can try bringing your hands to the front of the rib cage. Inhale, feel your side ribs and your front ribs expand. And exhale. Now inhale, feel your side ribs and back ribs expand. The floor will help you with that. Exhale. And 2, trying to feel the ribs. Inhale, sides, front, and back expand all at once. Exhale. Inhale, feel everything expand 360 degrees, and exhale. Arms long by your sides. Try to relax your shoulders. Pelvic tuck. Inhale. You're going to see I make a tiny back bend here. I tilt my pelvis toward my thighs, and then I exhale, and I curl my pelvis toward my ribs. Inhale, pelvis to thighs, tiny back bend. Exhale, pelvis to ribs, flat back. Keep going with this pattern. This is one of my favorite things to do for a tight low back after I've been sitting all day, whether that's at work or whether I'm driving. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. All right. This is called iso abs, I think, because you're isolating your abs. Bring your hands in a triangle and place them on your navel. Inhale. Exhale, try to drag your navel up to your ribs. Feel your deep core engage and release. Exhale, try to drag that triangle up to your ribs. It's glued, but imagine you could move it anyway. And release on the inhale. Exhale, drag it up. And down. 2 more. Drag that up with the force of your exhale and down. And drag that up and down. Rib cage arms. Start with your arms long by your sides. Bring them up overhead, working in a sustainable range of motion. What do I mean by that? I'll bring my arms down. This is a sustainable range of motion for me right now, especially because it's first thing in the morning. I have not done anything other than walk my dog. If I try to go all the way and touch my bookshelf, my ribs pop up. And that is not what I want here. What I want is to work my shoulders while keeping my back imprinted onto the mat, keep a lot of stability through those back muscles so my shoulders can work freely and I'm not, dumping into somewhere. It doesn't matter how far back your shoulders go. What matters is you work the joint in a sustainable way. One more of these. All right. Head nods. I'm sort of thinking like a pug. My head is nice and aligned. And I'm just going to tilt my chin, again, just a sustainable amount, and back. I'm going to tilt my chin toward the ceiling, and back. I initiate this by dragging the back of my head on the mat. Again, it's a small movement. I find it very refreshing after being at a computer a lot. All right, neck curls. You're going to think even more like a pug. Slide your arms down the mat, lift up to the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, and roll down. Think like a pug. Reach your arms to lift your chest, and come down. Think like a pug. Lift and up, and yes, you might get a little double chin action. Guess what? There are worse things in the world. Tuck your chin and lift. That was a response my teacher gave to someone who complained about the think like a pug action. And, it really stuck with me. And down. Marches. Marches are something we often do standing. They're also done lying on the ground. So we'll start 5 on the right leg. 5. And you notice I'm working just through my hip. Notice my foot is just staying relaxed and in the same shape. I want to avoid kicking from my knee. That's not what this is about. This is about working the leg in the hip joint. And then 5 on the other leg. Again, feeling that joint in the hip. If you get a little popping, that's okay. I get a little popping in my left hip. I'm working on that. It's not an injury. It's just, the way things are. Now we're going to alternate. You can alternate with your feet on the ground or bring your legs into a tabletop and alternate right, left. Again, focusing on working from the hip, right, left. And again, if you are just alternating with your feet on the ground, good for you. Work in your energy level today. Right, left. This is actually probably like the most intense it'll get. Well, we haven't gotten to shoulders yet, but that's not intentionally intense. Let's just do one more each side. I love this exercise so much. And bring your legs down. Knee sways. Arms can be by your side or a T shape or goalpost. I like a T for this. So this is a twist, but it's a subtle twist. If you've done yoga and you've done the big twists, we're not really doing that. So I'm going to twist toward my reformer. So I'm going to take my knees to the left, and you can see I'm only got about a hand's distance between my booty and the floor. And I'm going to do just 5 toward my left, toward my reformer. And again, I'm keeping that twist subtle because I'm trying to just wake up these muscles that, especially if you've been sitting all day, they might be a little sleepy, rather than, trying to force them into a twist. And you can take a bigger twist at the end of this if you want. Now I'm going to do 5 toward my camera, which is to my right. Again, I love all of the leg and hip oriented fundamentals. They are my favorite. All right, now we're going to alternate left to right, and you can go a little bigger this time. Don't make it huge though. So I'm going to take it over, and you can see most of my right butt cheek comes off the floor. Take it the other direction, most of my left butt cheek comes off. Switch and switch. I'm still working in I'm not going as far as I could, because again, that's not the point. The point is to work these muscles in a way that I know is sustainable. Because sometimes if you know you can go deeper, maybe you go deeper before you're ready, or it's just not the right day. One more each direction. Now, I never remember what this exercise is called because I just think of it as butterfly. It's all right. I'm going to take my right leg, it's the one facing the camera, and I'm going to open it out. And again, I could go deeper, I'm not. The sole of my whole foot is still on the mat. Just open it out a little bit and bring it in. I choose my end range to the point at which I know my foot can stay on the mat. 2 more. Last one. And then other leg, I do the same thing. Working in just a range where my left foot can stay on the mat. And in Pilates, we're not always working in a small range of motion. If you've seen it on the internet, you know that's true. And especially on a day when we are trying to do less and we're trying to be more restful, working in a small range of motion is probably to our advantage. All right, now let's open both legs at the same time. For 5, and draw them together. You make your own resistance. Open them out, and you resist as much as is appropriate for you. 3, open 2, and last one. Last leg exercise, I'm going to scoot back a little bit. This is leg slides. I'm going to start with my right leg, it's the camera leg. I flex my foot, I press my heels slowly out, I drag it back in, waking up that hamstring. Press it out, drag it in. I'm really making that hamstring work here. Press it out and drag it in. Again, you bring your own resistance to this. Find the amount of work for your hamstring that is appropriate today. Drag out one more time, and drag it all the way in. Other leg. Now I'm using my reformer leg, that's my left leg, drag it in. Press it out, and drag. You might find one side is more or less responsive than the other. My left side is a little less responsive. And that's okay, we are inherently asymmetrical. And last one. All right, flip over to your front. Flight is the name of this move. I've got my hands and forearms flat. I've got my elbows into my rib cage. This is a small back bend, y'all. So I've got my nose on the mat. I press my hands and forearms are glued into the mat, but I drag them back as though they could move, and I lift into this tiny back bend and bring it down. Big back bend is not the goal here. Press the arms. Imagine you could drag them back and lift into that tiny back bend. Press, isometrically drag. That's what we do. Isometric is the word for when we move without moving. Imagine you could drag those glued hands and lift and down. And one more. Again, this is really focused on the upper back. The big back bend is not the goal here. There are other exercises for that. That's not this one. All right, take your hands to goalpost position. In Texas, we would call it cactus position. This is called goalpost arms. All right, in this one, you are going to lift your arms. Your elbows are going to stay glued. So your elbows are glued to the floor. They cannot move. I drag my elbows back. I come into that tiny back bend. I lift my hands off as much as I can, which for you, you can see for me, it's not that much. And down. Press those elbows into the floor. Lift up. This is I think, the hardest of the fundamentals for me. Woo! I'm really feeling it. Drag and lift, and down. For those of us who are real computer bound, this is the homework I give all of my clients who have desk jobs. And it's an exercise I should do every day, and I don't. And down. All right, one seated exercise, and then we'll do one standing exercise, and you will have your minimalist workout completed. Seated tracking, perch nice and high. If it hurts your back to perch, grab a pillow, fold up a towel, fold up a blanket, whatever you need to do to give some elevation. Legs are straight, feet flex at the heel as best you can. Now I point the right toe, that's my camera facing toe, point, and it's not a hard point. I could do a hard dance point. What I'm focusing on is dragging the heel back and just getting long through that foot. And one. Other leg, I'm going to work my reformer leg now. I drag the heel toward the calf and let that foot lengthen. There's nothing wrong with the dancer point at all. Drag and extend. My background is in dance. I danced for about 20 years of my life. Drag it back. And it's just not what we're going for in this exercise. The goal is to really learn how to work through the whole foot without really clenching at the toes there. Let's do a quick alternate of these. So right and left and right and left, dragging the heel toward the calf. 2 and 2 and 1 and 1. All right. And we'll finish with a small standing roll down. This is not really part of the pre-Pilates or fundamentals exercises, but I do always like to end with something standing. I'm going to be in Pilates stance, which is that mild turnout. You can also be parallel, whatever is better for your body. First, I'm going to just try to stand as evenly as possible over my feet. Feel how good I feel after doing just a small, minimal workout. And then shake up my arms, roll my head down till my hands are about at my knees. Again, I could go lower. That's not what we're doing today. Circle the arms out. Circle the arms out. Roll up. Maybe you could roll up one vertebra at a time. That's tricky for most of us, especially if we sit at desks. Curl the head. Circle out. Circle in. And take it up. One more of these. Curl. Remember, you can curl one vertebra at a time. Circle out. Circle in. And roll it up. Take one more moment of standing tall, do any necessary wiggles. And I hope that this minimalist workout helped you feel great and it gave you what you needed on a day that you just needed to keep it simple. Have a good day.